Today we'll do a review on the ICO Zero Carbon, tackling climate change using the blockchain and international carbon credits. The Zero Carbon project aims to tackle climate change using the blockchain and international carbon credits. Renewable energy has responded well to the climate change challenge with impressive cost reductions achieved. However, they are concerned that renewable remains too expensive and so the impact of carbon emission is slow. The Zero Carbon project came up with two innovative solutions that has two parts. First, Zero Carbon Markets, which delivers a lower price while switching consumer to zero carbon energy, and second, Energy's Token, which consumers receive as rewards for consuming zero carbon energy purchased across their market. The Zero Carbon Market will provide consumer access to a strongly competitive marketplace for every source from renewables, nuclear, or from fossil fuels with carbon emissions fully offset by international carbon credits. International carbon credits can help speed up carbon emission reduction as they can be purchased for a low price which can be more than offset by their market competitive intensity. The cost of the carbon credit contributes to the cost and viability of a carbon reduction project in a developing country. The United Nations has responsibility for validating these projects and maintaining the carbon credit registry and life cycle. The International Carbon Credit Framework was initially adopted by the Kyoto Protocol in 1997 and recently reconfirmed by the Paris Climate Agreement in December of 2015. Secondly, there are blockchain economies based on Energy's Token that have been designed to capture the potential future utility that customers may receive from their market. This is enabled using the distributed ledger, Ethereum, smart contracts, and crypto exchanges. Energy's Token have concrete underpinning as energy suppliers must use them to pay transaction fees to the project for winning consumer across their market. They intend that up to 70% of the transaction fees received by the Zero Carbon project will be recycled as rewards for consumers engaging with the Zero Carbon project. Energy suppliers and consumers can sell Energy's tokens to their other consumers, including energy suppliers who may need to purchase them to pay transaction fees. This is the energy's economic cycle. The Zero Carbon project goal is to speed up the transition to zero carbon emissions from every which they believe can reduce the risks of catastrophic effects from climate change. Initially, while renewable energy remains too expensive for mass adoption, the project will use international carbon credits and intense competition of the marketplace to provide a cheaper, zero-carbon energy alternative to burning fossil fuels. Their team is consisted by 8 members. Derek Myers is the CEO of the Zero Carbon project. Today he is the chairman of the West London Climate Change Commission. He developed Beyond, a company that acquired back in 2003 into a most innovative and highest quality energy consultancy in United Kingdom. Actually, Beyond is the company behind Zero Carbon project. Thomas Smits is the market director of the company. In 2013, Thomas joined the European Energy Exchange AG, where he initially ran their London office as head of sales, clearing and ISV coal and freight. In 2017, he was appointed head of the sales on EEX Group Global Commodities, member of the executive management team of the Clear Trade Exchange in Singapore. The last person I would like to take a look into is Philip Lowe, the software manager and developer of the project. Philip is a leading contributor to the open source development community and also works in the Beyond company for the past 8 years. Looking at the profiles of the members behind Zero Carbon project, it is clear that the team possesses experience and the know-how to see this project through. Zero Carbon project, as you can see on your screen, has a working prototype of their platform in which you can choose your postcode, fuel, economy tariff, and your provider and your annual consumption. Once you do all that, you can get the best deal out of it. This is just a demo, but it will roll out later this year according to their roadmap. In this section, I would like to take a look on the Zero Carbon token and the Zero Carbon market in depth. Zero Carbon market will provide cost savings to encourage consumers to choose zero carbon energy. However, the problem is that the savings may not be large enough for consumers to prioritize the switch from their existing supplier to another. Therefore, Energy's Token have been designed to be meaningful rewards that are potent enough to provide the catalyst for a change and to provide incentives for consumers to contribute towards tackling climate change. The energy token design, as you can see in the diagram on their white paper, shows how energy tokens have been designed to capture future utility received by customers. They are effectively tokenizing the future utility that future customers will receive from using the zero carbon market. This is achieved by requiring energy suppliers to pay transaction fees using energy tokens each time they win a new consumer across their market. This creates as an internal demand and liquidity for energy tokens. Up to 70% of these energy tokens transaction fees are then recycled back to consumers as rewards. Energy token owners can then use them to pay transaction fees, hold on to them, or sell them back to energy suppliers through a third-party crypto exchange. As the consumer base increases, the demand for energy tokens will increase. The fixed energy token supply can then contain the demand-supply equilibrium. This is the energy token economy. Energy suppliers pay the transaction fees by default. However, consumers can choose to pay transaction fees. If consumers choose to pay, then the energy supplier may pass through their transaction fee cost savings to the consumer in the form of an even lower electricity price. Transaction fees are paid in energies but calculated using fiat currencies. Transaction fees are involved to customers on the last day of the second month following the contract start date. Transaction fees are used to cover payments for running the project. Up to 70% of energy token transaction fees received by the Zero Carbon project will be recycled and provided to consumers as reward for engaging with the market. In addition to energy token rewards, the other part of the project solution is the Zero Carbon markets, with its role to deliver lower price to consumers while switching them from fossil fuel to zero carbon energy. In order to achieve an immediate and material impact on carbon emissions, consumers need to switch to zero carbon energy in high volumes. Many consumers are willing to switch away from fossil fuels if they have to pay a premium for renewable energy. The Zero Carbon market offers a cheaper alternative using international carbon credits to offset emissions from fossil fuel sources. The price of these international carbon credits can be offset by intense competition provided by their market. The Zero Carbon market provides the facility for energy suppliers to list the prices of their energy contracts for consumers to consider. The market lists competing zero carbon energy contract prices from different energy suppliers and provides this information to consumers to access on a like-for-like cost comparison against the consumer's existing energy contract. The consumer then considers the offers and may select one in order to agree a price. The paperwork is then completed with the energy supplier outside of the platform. The energy supplier then supplies the energy, bills the consumer directly, and receives payment by local fiat currency, all outside of the platform. Energy suppliers can either source energy from renewable, or they can offset the carbon emissions from any fossil fuel source energy by purchasing international carbon credits. This allows energy suppliers to compete on price against fossil fuel sources, as new renewable sources are still too expensive. Energy suppliers may also source electricity from nuclear energy and biofuels. The market displays these sources alongside to offer price for the consumer to choose their preferred cheapest zero carbon energy technology. The Zero Carbon market will be available for both business and individual consumers. Businesses and households have access to different platforms within the market to switch energy providers. Both the business and the consumer futures together make up the Zero Carbon market in a particular jurisdiction. The roadmap started back in Q1 of 2018 by completing the Zero Carbon software. In Q2 of 2018, they deployed test smart contracts, the energy tokens contract, and the token sale contracts. On Q3 of 2018, they plan to market to consumers from the crypto community. On Q4, they plan to deploy the energy economy smart contracts and list their token on exchanges. The first interesting and related to the project milestone take place on Q4 of this year and is the launch of the Zero Carbon market in United Kingdom. In the same quarter, they plan to register 1,000 households in the United Kingdom and register energy partners in Australia, Germany, Texas, and US coast. On Q1 of 2019, they aim to launch Zero Carbon market in Australia and grow their consumer base to 3,000 households. Their roadmap ends in 2019 with note-dated milestones such as register more energy suppliers around the world, launch the Zero Carbon market in Germany, Texas, East Coast of the United States, Italy, Spain, and so on. Also to increase consumer base up to 30,000 households. Overall, the roadmap is quite poor, and the reason I call it poor is because it ends on 2019 with many undated milestones which can be extremely difficult to be met in such a small amount of time. To be fair, until the beginning of 2019 the roadmap answers many questions, but after that it's just generic points without dates. Down to price and token distribution, there will be a total of 240 million Energys token. 115 million will go on sale in 3 sale stages. That is 48% of the tokens, 30% will be retained in the rewards pool for zero carbon energy consumers, 15% will be retained by the company Beyond, 5% will be given to bounties and bonuses, and 2% will go to the team members and partner advisors. Given all, we have a 53-47 distribution in favor of the public. Still quite far away from the 80-20 rule, but we need to take into account the 30% that goes towards the market pool. Overall, is an okay distribution. When it comes to the price, the private pre-sale will have a price of 10 cents per token and a hard cap of $2 million. The public pre-sale 15 cents per token for a hard cap of 3 million, and finally the main sale will have a price of 20 cents per token for a 15 million hard cap. Take into account the last price of the main sale, this is a potential $23 million market cap coin, since that is the amount the potential 115 million tokens will get if this enters the market at 20 cents. Given the current market, the price per token can be deemed okay, and the market cap as well. Well, like all projects, there are positive and negative aspects with the Zero Carbon project ICO as well. As always, I will start with the positive ones. The idea behind the project is great, and personally, every attempt that is done by a company to do something good for the planet is always positive for me. The team behind the project is well experienced in the field and they have the know-how, and last, the fact that they have a working prototype is definitely a huge plus. On the other hand, the roadmap is quite poor since it is short and ends on 2019, and most importantly has generic milestones without a delivery date in it. Given all, is a project that we should hope it will work, as it will be good for the planet and actually can save money using energy. Thank you for watching.